Hello, everybody, and welcome to Winning Saturday Night. How's everybody doing this evening? Lots of stuff going on, man. Lots of stuff going on. I hope you guys are well out there. Without further ado, let's get our guest of honor in here tonight. Have a little, sorry for the late start. Have a little technical issues on this end. Wanting to get the proper intro out. Let me see if I can actually do it. How's everybody doing out there? You guys having fun? What's up with how you doing, Daisy, T3, Chris guys, all that stuff, man. All you guys. I hope you're having a good time tonight. Sorry, I'm a little preoccupied trying to get this video together. There's this one particular one I wanted to use, but I can't seem to get it to work right now. Let me try one more time. And oh wait, there it is. Oh yeah, I got it. Okay, we're good to go. Here we go. Good. I'm glad we can do this proper because this guest deserves proper intro. All right, here we go. Oh, yep. Okay, there we go. Told you it's just a little bit janky tonight. I think there's some. There we go. We're all good now.
It's like a gong. It's like a gong mission. Long duck dong. Yeah.
Sorry about this, guys.
Well, it's probably easy to go this way.
Okay. So,
Here we go.
It's like a gong. It's like a gong mission. Long duck dong. Yeah.
What's happening, hot stuff?
Chinese, yeah. But he's played by a Japanese actor.
Who? Oh, the weird Chinese guy in Mike's room.
Chinese exchange student.
I love visiting with a grandma and a grandpa, pushing lawn mowing machine so grandpa's hyena don't get disturbed.
And he kind of ended up just doing all the chores for Grandpa Howard, you know, mow the lawn, till the fields, everything, free labor.
Right.
Oh, yes. Indeed, he does the dishes and helps with the laundry, you betcha.
But here, what happened was, they're attending a wedding, and this Molly Ringwald's character, she's all frustrated, and they have a really good idea. She's going to the school dance, and they said, why don't you bring Dong along? She goes, oh, the last thing she wants.
Where are you going?
I have a dance to go to at school.
I have a wonderful idea. Would you like to go to the dance with Sam?
But the Dong finds his own party. Not only that, he meets the girl with the biggest tits in high school.
I bet all the boys are taking plenty in the school, huh?
Nobody's caught me yet.
You big teaser, huh?
No.
And they get off, and so she realizes even the donger gets laid.
I've never been so happy in my whole life. Now I have a place to put my hand.
You know? So this is a positive thing. People complain, oh, these are bad Asian stereotypes. I'm getting triggered. And I thought, hey, man, look, the little Chinaman got laid. In a big way. Why are you complaining? Look.
No more Yankee, my wanky.
Where is my automobile?
Welcome to the show. The star, one of the biggest stars in the law team universe, Max Mura. How you doing, my friend?
Thanks for having me.
Man, thanks for being here, dude.
I didn't realize, in the mashup that you used the Tokyo Drift scenes at the end for the car crash, and just didn't notice that. That was good. That was a nice touch. It's the only way you can explain putting in the clips from 16 Candles. My explanation, unless you've seen the movie before. So that was kind of fun. Mm. Oh, it's my new coffee. Not old, my old coffee. You know what this is? It says, when confronted, it's heat sensitive. I can't read it. Someone else can. You know, admit nothing, deny everything, demand proof, make counter allegations, and accuse someone else. You know. Can you hear me?
Yep, I sure can. Yeah, that's how I did it during the Turco Grift video. I had a mix up of that going on, and I actually blended those songs together, so you can hear it during the video. You can hear how it goes from one to the other and then back into the other. So that car chase scene we did was like you can hear it in the background going doom doom doom. It kind of changes the song up. Yeah,
You're
that was
not.
great.
The copyright is fine. How do you do these things without getting a copyright strike on? Is it the amount of time that you
Yeah,
can use it, or fair
out of
use?
sequence, amount of time.
That's good. So what's new with you? How are things?
It's good, man. It's been going great, man. I got a whole new lineup of shows since we last talked. Haven't been doing as much of the parody stuff, but I've been kind of using that as intros and whatnot. And I've been doing more of the serious work that this channel was originally designed to be about. So I've been having I've had numerous different shows. Now I got the Unveiling reality show on Wednesdays. I got the Repairing History Together with Gary Lamb on Thursdays, and I'm doing the Winning Saturday Night Show. And I also have a new show tomorrow at 7 p.m. Old School Watch Along Sundays with T3, and where we just look at old school documentaries. Kind of relates a little bit to the Unveiling reality material that I do, and it's been really good, man. Everything's moving forward, progressing upwards. More and more people are hearing about it, showing up. Crowd's getting bigger and better. Really quality crowd going on here, man. I love the people out there. How you doing, Jacob Peets? Kaiwan Calendar, thank you for being here. Let's see who else. Anybody else I haven't welcomed yet? Memento Mori, how are you, my friend? How are you? Chris Goss, thank you for being here. And thank you guys that all came here early. Cool Gamer for getting in the front row for the show, man. I appreciate you being here early and being in the front row. Thank you so much. You guys, this is my good friend, Max Mura. Max is awesome, dude. We've known each other for almost a year now. It's been about a year. Yeah. And Max is one of my favorite people to talk to and hang out with. And we just don't get to do enough of it because he's busy. He has all kinds of things going on. And I'm busy too. But I'm so happy that you made time to come hang out. I wanted to ask you about the cringe van, man. I saw that. It's so cool. I want to hear all about it. Tell me about it.
Well, so it was, boy, time flies. It was just over a month ago. So if you know the Meme Copium channel, Josh, and also BP Custom Creations, we often meet on Josh's channel on Friday nights. And I don't know who came up with it, but there was an idea to get the three of us in a van and tour part of Japan. I think originally Josh had been approached by a sponsor because he does, as a videographer, a lot of scenic locations in Japan. He got approached by a van camping company, and I think it's because they saw a lot of his really dynamic scenic photography. Like there's one where you see a car driving on a beach in Japan, and I think in Totori on the Japan seaside. And here's the thing: normally, that would take, from a drone, you need a human operator for the car, everything else. You'd need at least 2 people, 3 people to do it. Josh did it just one person. Anyway, we did a 24-hour drinking stream. BP got the coof. I passed out, and Josh did the whole 24 hours, raising money. And so it was on I think it was August 9th. So just like over a month ago, I took the bullet train from Tokyo. I'm in Tokyo to Osaka. Met up with Josh, Meme Copium, and BP, and we had a van. I would call it it's not a minivan, it's a mini van. Toyota calls it the Rumi. It's not. It has a 1-liter engine. Daihatsu calls it the Thor. I think that's a bit of projection. It's the same thing. And we drove that from Osaka. We went to Awaji, small island, and then there's an island called Shikoku. It has 4 different prefectures: Tokushima, Kochi, Kagawa. Maybe that's it. And we had our adventures. And the first night was interesting because Josh bought pup tents for us, or tents. So we found a camping ground, but it was the worst. I mean, it was windy, raining and windy and everything. And so we packed up in the morning, and the subsequent nights after that, we were in a hotel. But the name of the camping ground was pretty interesting. It was called FBI, Friends of the FBI. Josh keeps a band they gave to us. And there's a nice bar in there too. It was great. And there were cabins, but we chose to pay for the just a lot. We set up our tents. It was hot. It was windy. It was rainy. It was miserable. But yeah, it was fun. And Josh did most of the filming. I was given a handheld to do, so I did the last 2 days. And BP was the driver, and it was pretty funny. It
That's great.
It wasn't bad. I mean, yeah, it's a 1-liter engine. In Japan, they have something called K cars.
Uh-huh.
And those are like those are like 0.6 liter engines. They're really tiny. Their advantage of a K car is, of course, licensing, everything else. But we didn't get a K car or a K van. We went from 0.6 to 1, and still, yeah, it did okay. I mean, there were some times we went up these really steep inclines, and I thought we're not going to make it, but it did okay. So I was kind of pleasantly surprised. Yeah. Toyota has these. I think they're I think they're on a Camry platform or something like that. Maybe on an inline 6 engine. They call it the Alphard. Alphard. Anyways, the vans, they're like a normal van, and I don't know what happens, but the mob, the Yakuza, they use the Alphard now. It's what happened was in the 1990s. If you were here in Japan in the early 2000s, the Yakuza, their car vehicle choice was a Mercedes-Benz S-Class AMG, blacked out windows. That's what they would drive almost all the time. I mean, once in a while you'd see like old school mobsters. The OGs would drive a Toyota Century, which is their Toyota's version of a limo. And I think they come in 8 and 12 cylinder. But suddenly they at some point, every mobster, they're driving these blacked out Toyota vans. They're not Honda vans, they're not Nissan vans or anything else. They're these Toyota Alphards. And I was told the reason why, and it's not what I think. You think the Alphards, if you look at it, they're really useful because you can't see in them. So you can have a meeting in there if you're, it's large enough, I guess, intimidating enough or whatever. No one's looking into your business. It's because one of the largest established importers of foreign vehicles, called Yanase, Yanase, they kind of had this monopoly on on specific imported vehicles in Japan.
Uh-huh.
And it used to be, I don't know now, but it used to be, for example, I had a friend whose father really liked Volvos. And so if you did get your Volvo through another channel through parallel importing and you needed a part, they'd say, no, F you. You ain't getting one because you went around our little internal embargo. So that's how much power they had. Anyways, the Yanase decided simply, they made a decision that they would not sell to the mob. They would not sell to members who were known to be, related to an organized crime group. They decided it wasn't worth their business for what it's worth. So then Toyota said, we'll sell to you. Probably give him a rate. And that's why en masse, you're going to see this Alpha. Now, we didn't get that van. That would have been an easier van to drive. It would have had a lot more horsepower. It would have been more comfortable, everything else. But there were one or two roads on the third day. One was extremely narrow. I don't know if it was even meant to be a road. If we had taken a normal vehicle or a van, we would have gone right off the cliff. There's no way.
So you guys plan on doing again? It's going to be an ongoing series. Are you going to do something similar
I
in
don't
different
know.
places?
Oh no, I think we all have BPSD from BP's driving. No, I'm kidding. He was an excellent driver. He's really cool. Yeah, I mean, all these ideas come up, and it's very much like the first time when I think we were, you make your best ideas when you're under the influence, and so, last past Friday night, someone goes, "Oh, you should go to South Korea. Take a ferry, take a hydrofoil. Go visit Uncle Jeff in Busan. That's Legal Vices, or or one of the Southeast Asian countries." Yeah, so, oh yeah, right. Or
you guys have the flying dolphins down there? Those hydrofoil shuttle boats like they have in Greece. You know what I'm talking about?
I understand there is a hydrofoil ferry from Fukuoka and Kyushu in southern Japan that goes to South Korea and Busan, and maybe takes, I don't know, a few hours. It's fast, but there's also a regular ferry, and it takes, I don't know, a full day or something, and probably a lot cheaper too. And I'd probably take, if we did that. But I also argue there's enough to there's enough to do in Japan, and we just went into one part of Japan, and where did we go? Oh yeah, so the first day we went to the National Awaji Island Institute for Godzilla Research or something like that. And the acronym is NIGOD, NIGOD. And so we went there, and it's kind of an amusement park. And there's a huge mouth of a Godzilla with a zip line going into it. And that's, I think,
that's so cool.
I know it's in the outro. It might also be in the intro. I can't remember, but we had to just gear up, and Ben went first, and then I went second, and had to yell loud enough so that you can catch it on camera. I think you can hardly, it gets muffled, but I kind of yelled, "So long, gay boys!" And yeah, it was kind of, yeah, it was fun. It was just really hot as well. We had a typhoon coming up. There was a typhoon coming up that week, and we thought, oh, we're going to have to cancel it. And the typhoon, I'm not kidding. I claimed that I did a hate dance. I said, go away, go hit Korea like the kamikaze, the kamikaze, right? And that typhoon actually went straight up towards Korea. We're joking. Oh, sorry, Jeff. It's going to hit Jeff before he flies to the States for Anami Matsui. And then we're thinking, okay, wow, that's cool. But then there was another typhoon that was coming up, but it didn't hit until a day or two after we we finished Cringe Fan. But during that time when we saw these rivers, they were just massively swollen, just really dangerous. The water was brown, and it was and I think we just got in there 4 days in and 4 days out, just right at the right time. I don't think you could have done any better. It was kind of lucky. But yeah, Josh did a lot of the editing. I mean, you often don't see, the product of a video edit or, the whole thing. You just enjoy it. But I already knew he did really, really good work, because I saw on one of his, more serious travel and scenic channels, on travel. There was a shot of a car on a beach. It's like a car commercial. It'd be like if I saw it for Toyota. Car going barreling down the beach by the Japan Sea, and the shot is from above. And so, like I said before, I thought, how many people do you think well, you need a driver, duh. You need a drone camera operator. You need another, but if you're going to do sound or everything else, coordination. So at least 3 people. I've maybe even 4. And you have to go back and take a look at the clip again, and it's just I know it's just one person. It's Josh. Josh is in that freaking car driving it down that beach. Meanwhile, he has a drone, and he's aware, how it's being filmed and everything else. Then he goes back and edits it. That's why I think in the beginning, when we were doing Cringe Fan day 1, 2, 3, some people were thinking like, "Hey, like we're not getting any updates. Like, what's going on? You're sending us a few clips or photographs on the Discord, And I think we did a stream. We did 2 streams on the 3rd and can't remember. Was it the 2nd and 3rd night or something like that? Yeah, or the 3rd and 4th night. Did we do 4 nights? I can't remember. In any event, we did the stream, and then at one point I think it was the 3rd day, I realized, might have been the 3rd day, I realized there were some people in Josh's Discord stream, and so I live streamed for them, while we're in the car going around, and yeah, that was kind of fun.
Yeah, man. Gee, what a great time, man. That I think that's a great concept, man, and I could totally see you guys having a lot of fun with that, and heck, I would love to watch more of it. Josh does good work.
It was. I was thinking, the first mock-up was like from. Do you remember when Jim Carrey joined the guys from Saturday Night Live with the Night at the Roxbury? The 3 guys, the Guidos in the van.
Oh yeah.
That was some. So I said, oh, can someone do a mock-up? With Photoshop on that one.
Yep.
But just to be clear, like we weren't like 3 guys trying to hit up local chicks or something like that. In fact, we really didn't have. I thought we'd have interaction with like Japanese. Really didn't. Yeah. Maybe 1 or 2, but I thought that would be kind of funny. Yeah. So we didn't harm any. We didn't harm any locals or anything, or I didn't. Oh yeah, that was creepy. We went to this. Can I say it? We went to this penis museum. It was full of dicks and everything. It was just hilarious. I think, and so the challenge for that, for somebody who's doing editing, you have to edit out a lot, especially if you're walking in there with a 360 camera, dick everywhere. So you gotta,
I saw that. I saw you when you guys were walking through there. Bunch of blurry spots.
Yeah, it was that was what's going on. Okay, I don't know how many gigabytes, more than 5 hours plus of footage, and Josh, so he spent days like doing the editing and everything, and yeah, that was fun. So I don't know, you do another Cringe Fan. I I actually argue there's enough opportunity or places in Japan. Just this time, instead of going to Shikoku, they go up, another part. And Korea would be funny, but yeah.
Jacob Pizza's wondering how often they have to mop the floors in that joint.
Which joint? For
I think he's
what?
talking about the penis museum.
Oh no, that's gross. There's a guy there. It's really cool. We first, you're off this mountain road. You're not sure where it is, and you go down towards, from up on a mountain, really down a steep road, and you're not sure what it is, and it looks like a really funky sort of building, and there's nobody. We park, and there's your old guy, and he's going, "It's closed." I go, "Oh damn, we really want to see it." And he goes, "Okay, yeah, I'll let you in, but only 20 minutes, eh?" I said, "Okay." So I give him 500 yen each. That's like $3.50. And we're in there. But the funny thing is, like, he does ask. He goes, "Hey, you guys, you fellers," he doesn't ask, "Do you speak Japanese?" Because we were speaking Japanese. He said, "Do you read Japanese?" And yeah. And he goes, "Look up there." And there's all this stuff. It's like, I don't know. Best way to describe it would be like, I'm writing my dearest, favorite, personal letters to the editor, penthouse form stuff up on the wall. And the thing is, what I liked about him is he was looking at Josh and Ben, just assuming, hey, it's pretty good, huh? Pretty good. And he's going, "I wrote it." He was really proud. Yeah, I could recommend. And we were going around, and oh yeah, we saw this. I don't know what it was doing, but it's like a mannequin of a high school girl, like lying down like this in a glass casket. I think kind of like Snow White or something. PP immediately recognized it as Josh's girlfriend. I hope she never sees this. Yeah. And so,
right.
Yeah, that was. Then when we're finishing up, there was a Japanese couple, and the old man kind of said to them, "Well,
What's up,
yeah,
Jacob?
You can come in just for 30 minutes." And I thought, hey, wait. Anyways, they wouldn't have gotten in if we hadn't already paved the way. So it was just a Japanese guy and a girl. So we left them there. We walk up to the car where the van is parked, and they have a similar one. And I mean, the parking lot is empty, right? And they do something which I just find crazy. They park right next to us. They'd park right next to us. And I don't get that. There's kind of like, if you're going to park, don't you try to park away from, you're not right up to the next one. But the other thing that's more disturbing is if somebody, if you walk into the head, well, I don't know with women, but a men's urinal, and you're taking a piss, and you're the only one there, and of all the urinals,
right,
guy comes in and he decides he's going to be the one standing right next to you. That's just like,
that's creepy.
Yeah, that happened to me.
Did it?
In the Tokyo courthouse during lunch break once, but it was for a different reason.
There's some weirdos out there, man.
No, this guy was a lawyer working for Nissan, and I think he was following me. And he was because it was just really weird. He just walked right up to the next, and I missed an opportunity. Like, how sometimes you think, I should have done this. I should have said it. It would have done all the, and you just go, well, I was taking a piss, and the guy comes right up next to me. I know who he is, and he's an asshole. And I should have just turned around to my right while I'm pissing and pissed on him and say, "What do you want?" And I did say something. I said in Japanese, I said, "Omae to homodachi ni naritakanai." I don't want to be a homo friend with you. Tomodachi is friend, and homo is homo. So I said homodachi. So I said, "Omae to homodachi naritakanai," and I think he got it, but that was weird. Yeah, forget his name though.
That is right.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, did he look sad when he
Nice
said that?
watch.
Oh man, a $10 super sticker. Thank you so much, Talking Trats and Truths. Thank you so much, and thank you so much to everybody who's here. Max was telling a really interesting story towards the end of Meme's 24-hour stream. Something about an airplane. I think Max never got to finish his story. Wondering if he remembers it enough to share.
What airplane? I don't know. I can't remember it. No, I'm not sure what kind of airplane was it. I have to go back and check. I mean, was it during World War II, or was it something I flew on? I can't recall. I mean, there was the Nihao attack right on December 7th, 1941, Pearl Harbor attack. One of the pilots, forget his name, he crash landed on Nihao Island, and subsequently Japanese Americans that were born, well, Hawaii was not a state till 1948, but they were born in Hawaii or Nihao. They decided to assist him, and they tried to kill the other islanders, and that was the Nihao incident. And that was an airplane, but I can't recall.
Let's
Or
see
Easter.
if
Yeah.
Daisy can help us remember.
Okay. But I can't recall any other. No, there was a so there was the what was it? It was the Imperial Japanese Army. Their long range, you'd call it a Zero fighter, I guess, but the Hayabusa, which is Peregrine Falcon, it was built really, really light. It didn't have any sort of cover like a Corsair or anything like that. So if you got hit, you were probably Swiss cheese. But that allowed the weight, the engineer for that, Itokawa, and his guys made sure that it had incredible range. So when the Americans first encountered these, they thought the Japanese were launching him from aircraft carriers. I mean, there were aircraft carriers in Pearl Harbor attack, but these ones had really, really long range, and that was the original Hayabusa. I don't think I mentioned anything about that, but that was Itokawa was he was like the Robert Goddard of the rocket for what the rocketry industry was in the States, and so he really didn't like the idea when the Navy started doing kamikaze attacks. You know, he thought that was a waste of human life. He thought, you know, what a waste, and he was really against it. So he developed the Japanese civilian rocketry program. His name was Itokawa Hideo, and then he died. But then I remember maybe 2006 or something. I can't remember. There was an asteroid, and it was named after him, Itokawa. And the Japanese sent out a satellite to meet that asteroid, and they call it the Hayabusa. It was a Peregrine. Hayabusa is Peregrine Falcon in Japanese, but that was the same name of the Imperial Army aircraft that he designed. And so I kind of thought what was noteworthy was, look, this is not just happening, but you're doing it without risking human life, you know? And I thought that was noteworthy, but people who are sensitive about the war go, "Oh, we don't want to talk about that." I said, "Why not?" I think that was a totally valid, you know, observation. You know, given the guy and his work during the war and then after. That was a shame, but I was really interested. I mean, we look at if you look at the you look at the Swedish, right? And most people know, I mean, Saabs. I had a friend who had a Saab 900, and I guess the old joke was like, if you have that, you have a lot of money because you can afford paying your mechanic. But the Saab automobiles are related or descended from the Saab, from their aircraft company. They make I think the vegan jets and things like that. Well, similarly, if you look at Subaru, the automobile company, that's called Fuji Heavy Industries, Fujizuko. Subaru is a subsidiary, just like Saab was, of FHI, which is an aerospace company. And in those days, if you go out there, FHI, what were they doing? If you look at, you can still see a lot of these aircraft and munitions factories. That was FHI during World War II, making the Zeros, making the Hayabusas and stuff like that. And so they do have not just an aircraft heritage, they have a wartime aircraft heritage. So I went up into Gunma Prefecture, like north of Tokyo, and just kind of look around. You can't see, you don't see anything. You don't see anything. You go, oh yeah, I see that. You have to kind of know what you're looking for. But it was an interesting place. I mean, right now there's probably a lot of Brazilian Japanese there. But that was a
Wow.
cool part, just looking at that technology, where it came from, things like that. And that's a lot of, we were talking about going to South Korea, Seoul, and I think Jeff was on the stream, Jeff Legal Vices, and this was on Friday, and I think I mentioned this. Like, I've been to Seoul a couple times, and one of the things is just go on Google Maps, and you'll see this topography of the city of Seoul has these small mountains. I don't know if you're from a major mountain range, Colorado or Appalachia or whatever, you're going, that's not a freaking mountain, that's a hill with trees on it, But they're essentially small mountains throughout this metropolis of Seoul. And so what? You go, okay, there's nice parks and Koreans. And so 1968, January 21st, 1968, the North Korean, the Unit 124, which is North Korean Special Commandos, they sent 30 of their commandos to assassinate the president of South Korea, to attack the Blue House. That is the official residence, I think, of the Korean president at the time. And so for the next freaking week, you have these attacks. I don't know. Maybe there were 29 South Koreans, or I don't know how many South Koreans are killed, maybe 16 or something. 66 are wounded. Maybe 4 Americans are killed, and they're being hunted down. I think they got all but 20, but one of them, maybe 30 commandos, North Korean commandos, maybe 29 were killed. One was captured. One might have gotten away, and they had the second and 6th U.S. but then they had the ROK, the South Korean army, after him. And if you look it up, they call it the Blue House incident. I did know a guy. And I knew he was not. He was ethnically Japanese. His name was Mishima. What's his first name? Anyways, when he was young, his mother remarried a white American serviceman named Bobrovsky. And so that's why he also goes by, what's his first name? I know his last name. He went from Mishima to Bobrovsky, and he was a sergeant. He graduated Zama High School, which is a DODS, Department of Defense school in Japan on the Army base. He went to Vietnam. He did maybe, I don't know how many tours, but he was U.S. Army Special Forces. He was a sergeant. So if you look up Sergeant Mishima, and it was like early 2000s or something. I was drinking in the New Sano, and somebody kind of whispered, "Hey, that dude over there," and sent him a drink, and he sent one back, and we got to talk to him. He passed away like 2005 or something like that from cancer, but he was one of the guys hunting those North Koreans, for that, from January 24th to 29th or something like that. And so go back to the story. I had somebody there on one of my visits, and he was able to take me to the same boring, nice parks with little mountains and stuff. But then he's saying, okay, look over there. See that tree still there? Look, this is where you had these look at the bullet, look at the holes in there, and I go, holy shit. So that became same shit. Suddenly it was really interesting going all over the place and having somebody point out where these NK commandos were caught, holed up, and shot. So that was fun. That was really cool.
Cool. See something about kamikaze attacks. I think that's pretty obvious. Any comments on that?
I don't have that much. I don't know. There's okay, that's what his name was. Mizuho, Mizuho, Mishima Broski, and that's the first on SOCNET special. Oh, he died 2007. That's right. Okay. But he was Sergeant First Class Mizuho Brabowski. I don't know what D446. Special Force. They go Ms. Lisa Brabowski, daughter of Mizuho Bo Brabowski, D-446, Chapter 43, informed the Special Forces Association that he had passed away April 6, 2007. Bo served in the 1st Special Forces Group A, 5th Special Forces Group A, and the 10th Special Forces Group A. I guess 18. Bo leaves a wife and a daughter. Cards of condolence can be sent to Satomi and Lisa Brabowski. Oh, in Torrance, California. So he was born in 1938, December 30th, in Anami, in Kagoshima, down south. His mother, Wako, married an American soldier and changed his last name to Brabowski. Yeah, that's it. Because if you saw him, I think he was like 5'6", but it's just like, and he did 7 combat tours in Vietnam. He did stuff in Europe, and then something. He held a, quote, final top secret security clearance. Okay, we have that. So they said he was the only member of the Green Beret to be able to fluently read, speak, and write Japanese. Okay.
Huh.
So he got the Meritorious Service Medal, Bronze Star, Air Medal, Army Commendation, good. Okay, yeah. But okay, he did get a bronze, and there's Vietnam and everything. Okay. Yep. Oh, this is a great. I'll put this in the. Somebody wrote about this on one of the forums. I'll just put in the live chat. You can. But yeah, I wasn't sure about my memory. Like, yeah, I know him. I met him, and I thought he passed away in 2005. But then, yeah, 2007 makes more sense.
Yeah, definitely type something in the live chat so I can add you as a mod too. I like to make sure that.
But you want me to put that link in the live chat?
Oh wait, did you put it in the private?
Go.
Okay, gotcha.
I can hear. Oh, this is. I just.
But just say hello. Just say hello, and then I'll make sure that.
There, I put it in there. I don't know if it showed up. Because if you put links into somebody's chat, sometimes it gets flagged, right?
Did it get flagged?
Flagged? Do you see it?
Just say hello. Just say hi real quick. Just say hi or something. Without the link. There you go. Yeah, let me do this.
Okay.
All right, there we go. Now you're mod. Now everything, and now you can post links.
Oh, okay.
Let's see, I got this one up though. Let's see how it looks over here. And also if you just want to share the screen, you can do that too. If that's not easy for you to do, I can do it for you. But that way you can scroll and you can highlight and you can do whatever you want to with it. But I have it up if you want me just to pull it up myself.
I don't know how to do that, but I'll just.
Okay, I got you. All right.
Sergeant Mishima. There it is. There. Oh, you got it? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the first bit of him. Yeah. It was on some forum. But they announced his
Anything you wanted to read off here? Is that's what you were reading from?
No, that's what I was reading. Yeah, it's cool.
Okay, cool. All right, cool.
But that
all right.
So that was like it's not in there, but yeah, during that time, that timeline would have been 1968, right?
Mhm.
So from 65 to 72, he was commanding Long Range Reconnaissance Company in Vietnam. Remember, from 60 to 65, he was a Green Beret in the 1st, 5th, and 10th group. But in 68, I think the Blue House incident was 1968, right?
Uh-huh.
Let me make sure because I have been. Yep, I was right. Okay, good. It was January 1968. Yeah. So he was part of that. He was whatever they drew him out of. He was hunting North Koreans. Yeah. That was I don't know if they have enough movies and stories and everything like that.
Well, in case you guys didn't know out there, Max is one of the biggest stars in the Law Tainment universe here. The Law Tainment universe has come and gone somewhat. I think we might be moving on to something else, but one day. But he's done so much great work with us, and again, one of the most sought after drummers in the scene.
No, I don't.
You got to play along, man. Just make it fun for everybody. But it's about imagination, right? But so many great parts. So if you guys want to check that out, the Law Tube is Getting Weird series is out there, and you can see a lot of great moments. And I appreciate you being part of it, man. I often thought about how to evolve that into something else, something more entertaining. One more entertaining, but more something different, but along the same lines. But making all those videos takes a long time. It does.
Yeah.
And
Oh yeah,
they were
yeah.
fun for
I
the
mean,
time, but I felt like they came and they had their moment, and by the time the series was finished, the moment had kind of like almost passed for that whole law tainment scene. But it was about having fun. It was about not being. It's about avoiding the drama and just seeing what life was like when everybody's just having fun together, and having a good time. And that's the one thing about it. It was just there was the good guys, the bad guys, and there was some some heel turns and face turns there at the end. But the whole thing wrapped up. But it was a fun series to make, and it was really fun, especially the band Tokyo Griff. That was you. That was you guys. That was you and you and Legal Mindset and Legal Vices and Mean Copium. And you guys threw a hell of a party. You were the party band. If you didn't notice that. And it was always about you guys always threw the big parties
that was
and had
hard.
a good
That
time.
was a lot of work. I realized. And honestly, sorry, I didn't realize kind of at the time how much work it entailed or actually entailed.
It was a blast. And I really tried to always paint people in a good light, or in the light that they were in, And even the Tokyo Griff stuff and all that stuff. It's like, I met you guys, got to know you, and I was like, oh, this works because you had come out and been talking about Long Duck Dawn and all that stuff before I even put those videos out. You were already kind of doing the bits, and I was like, man, he really fits the bit. So it's a good part for him to play in the role. And you actually inspired a lot of it, whether you know it or not. Like you helped me. Yeah, well, you helped me creatively. Are you still partying as much? I've seen you drink a little bit, but it didn't matter. It's like
Yeah, I sold it. I decided. Well, I haven't, not since last week, and I had a friend. He passed away, and I was just like, screw it. So, I haven't. I might just go on the wagon for an extended. I mean, I went for a long time. I went for several years without drinking, and
I as well. Yeah,
it was weird though. I would say the first 3 months of not drinking was psychologically really tough and miserable.
Mm.
And
what did you find out about that? Like, what was your journey like into that? And what are some of the things you experienced that you want
okay,
to
so
share?
I could say if I knew what I know now. Well, so by the first 3 months were really miserable and it was really hard. But after that, it was like riding a bicycle. It was like, and I actually didn't have. I got some accidental positive reinforcement. I don't know when it was. Somebody said, "Hey, Max, you look really good," and I really I think I said something like "fuck off," you know. And then I realized they don't know I'm not drinking. They had no fucking clue. And I was just, and I realized I really did look good. I lost 8 kilograms without doing any exercise, you know, purposefully or anything else, or diet or anything. And it wasn't, and somebody started to say, oh, well, that must have been a lot of calories in the beer. No, the calories wouldn't have been that much. But what it did was it just, even once a week, would fuck my metabolism. And so, yeah, maybe I would be eating wrong things, metabolism's off and everything else, but just cleaned up everything. And I just lost 8 kilograms, you know, and it was around Thanksgiving or something. And even in Tokyo, you can get frozen turkeys. You go to certain supermarkets, you know, most Japanese don't have like American sized ovens we did. And so wife catches me and I'm holding this. I know the density is different between a human and a turkey, but 8 kilograms is 8 kilograms. And I'm cradling it. And yeah, what the hell are you doing? And I just going like, I just kind of want to see what 8 kilograms looks like, you know, because that's a lot to lose. So what did I learn? I would say this. I run into people and maybe they're alcoholic or they're forced to stop drinking. Maybe, I don't know. I met somebody later, like he was a lawyer and he had a D, probably a second or third, and I looked it up and it was a lot. I think he was going to kill himself originally, you know. But I remember reading court ordered 12-step program or something. And that's a deal that the judges will give to you, I guess. If you're found, you know, you plead or you're guilty, they'll say you do a 12-step program or you serve time, you know. But all those cases, those people I feel bad for them because they're in hell because they can't drink. They're like, drinking is fun for a lot of people. I mean, not when you get to the point where you gotta wake up. Just to wake up, you gotta have something. I've never been in that situation. And,
Right. Yeah. Me neither.
But for the most part, you know, drinking is a lot of fun. So now you say you can't drink anymore. Then what are you doing right then and now? I'll tell you what you're doing. You're not having fun. So, you know, hey, don't have, you know, that's like being sit there, solitary confinement or something, you know? And so at some point you break because it's always like you're going, oh, you must not drink. Oh, the court says I have to go to this and whatever. And I feel sorry for those people because if beyond the psychology, the first kind of, I don't know, the first several weeks or whatever, I would say that these people, if you wanted to help them, is to say, find something fun to do. Now, don't do something self-destructive. Like, don't go find don't find a mistress or something and end up, you know, hey, sex is fun. Yeah, but you're going to have another problem if you get caught. Or, you know, doing some other drug. Like Coke is fun too. Or, you know, how about sticking up convenience stores, you know, or banks? Do something. But sports, exercise, whatever. If you're occupied with that, you're not thinking about not drinking. You're just doing something that ideally is better than drinking, you know. But
yeah, I hear you. Well, you look
really
great,
sucks.
though, by the way.
That really sucks. That really sucks if you're doing a drinking stream. You're going, oh, what are you going to do for your drinking stream? Yeah.
No, you do. You look great.
Or I'm moving to OnlyFans now. Yeah, OnlyFans, you know. Hey, Jack Murphy, he was a leader, you know. 69 for 69. $20 is $20. Yeah. Oh, I'm getting such a good stretch in my lower back. You know, my ankles go above my shoulders. Oh, it's such a relief. Ooh, am I showing too much? Mm. What a, you know, when I see this guy and he's once in a while I go, is this guy like, wow, he's like angry and posting. And I thought, boy, you know, I guess he probably paid a company or tried to erase as much of that stuff off the internet, so he feels oh, no one's ever going to see it again. But you know, if you really want to, you can look it up and you can find those things, and you can't erase the images that have been burned into my brain, like, you know, of that guy. And that was only December 2022, I think. It's kind of hilarious. Yeah. You know, I think we need more Jack Murphys.
Well, they seem to be springing out of the woodworks these days.
They're plenty around. Let me tell you. Yeah.
Yeah.
But just word to the wise, like don't go looking for it, because if the process entails that you have to look at sites that you don't look at, and you're saying, no, I'm just doing it for research, you know, yeah, you get a form of porno traumatic stress disorder. You go, oh, it's grouse. Yeah. So yeah, don't go searching, uh, because boy, that's stuff that, you know, it's terrible. Although it's great humor.
Yeah.
Okay, why is this heating up
The
so
locale
badly?
memory. The locale memory. I mean, you know,
Hold on,
that's the internet,
hold on for
though,
1
man.
second. I'm gonna stop the
Sure.
cam for a second. I'm gonna fix.
Look at
this
that
thing.
suit. Woo!
Oh. Okay. I don't know if this is gonna work. Okay, good. Okay.
Nice.
I was trying to get the yeah, I was looking at the CPU temperature, and for some reason I have everything on, so it was going up to 94.
Whoa.
Yeah. And
You're on a laptop, right?
yeah.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, I'm going to get a cooling pad under this and then see. There's no fan on it, so I'm looking at the numbers right now, and it's like 82. I could probably turn off whatever. Let's see if that helps. Okay, turn that off. Okay, just the browser, and I probably had. Okay, this looks a lot better now. Yeah. Oh, what were we talking about? Oh, who's making a drink? Oh, what kind of drink are you making? I have photos in Josh's Discord. So last Saturday, I said, okay, I'm going. Well, last Friday I said last Friday I was going to stop drinking, and then I met up with friends on Saturday, and they started out with a mojito sour, which is a frozen mojito sour, which is really good. And then we had
sounds good.
three guys, 3 bottles of wine, and
Hi,
that was
Rose.
really oh yeah, and then we went to this really excellent bar, and I wanted an old fashioned. I got an old fashioned. I got a Negroni, and I got. Damn it! It was Negroni, old fashioned Negroni. Hold on, this is bothering me. I have the photos on memes thing. I put it in food and drink. Food and drink. Okay, I went to Bar Trench. Whiskey sour, a Belvedere. I had a Belvedere. And I had a whiskey sour. Holy shit, that was a lot of alcohol. Yeah. So, those are, aside from with the exception of the old fashioned and the Negroni, I probably don't make a whiskey sour for myself. I don't want the egg whites and the shaking. I did it once. And a Belvedere, I'm not exactly sure even what's in a Belvedere.
Man, you know what? I used to be a bartender, and I remember Belvedere martinis. I can't remember what it was about them though. It's been so long since I did that.
Is that?
I enjoyed bartending though. I was good. I was good at bartending. But it's been a long time. I remember Belvedere. For some reason, I feel like Belvedere
You know what
martinis
it
is just
was?
the
It's
brand
a
of vodka or something.
Boulevardier. It's a
Okay.
Boulevardier, not a Belvedere.
Okay.
It's whiskey. Okay, now I know what it is. It's whiskey, Campari, and what was it? Whiskey, Campari, and vermouth, sweet vermouth. So, is it kind of like a Negroni? Yeah. I think it's like a Negroni. But Negroni is gin, right? Boy, I don't know what I'm drinking these days. Well, I'm not drinking anymore. You there? How's your sound?
I'm good. I'm good. Yeah. Definitely.
Okay. Oh, you were a bartender, huh?
Yeah. I was a bartender at a comedy club, and we had specialty drinks and all that stuff like that, and it was a lot of fun. I met. It was interesting because I got to meet a lot of stand-up comedians and see how their lifestyle was. This is after I came off the road from touring, and so it was interesting to see the other people who live the lifestyle, but in a different way, right? The comedians live the rock
This
star
was in
lifestyle,
Atlanta, right? Okay.
and they live the same lifestyle, but in a different way. They're one man show. It's not like you have a band with you. You know, you usually travel around by yourself unless you have a comedy duo or something like that. But it's the same lifestyle. So you guys in the Cringe Van, you guys reminded me of like a band on tour a little bit. You know, you're just a group of people and you're in the van, and you had the van conversations. You live in that bubble, right? You guys had the bubble. You really legitimately had a taste of the rock star experience at that time.
No. We did not have groupies. You know, the groupies stayed away. You know, Max tried to recruit one or two, but they just like, oh, okay, they're going to call the police. You know, I was like, hey.
You know what's so funny?
I got injured actually. I actually took out insurance.
Now you're living.
I got burned. I have a see. This is a burn mark on my elbow.
Here. Oh wow! I have
crab. Here. I got bit by a crab.
Do you know what's funny is I have a similar like little thing right there at the same spot from the same thing, a burn from the same thing, like right there.
That was going. I was going down a slide and it was super hot. It was over almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit, and it was the slide was super hot, and I went down holding a 360 camera.
Oh yeah,
and it just hurt, and then I hit the side and it burned, and it was like, it was crazy. Yeah.
Well, Max, we have matching scars, dude.
No, that's scary. What's your safe word? So we also had this funny thing where we were joking about we couldn't say a certain word, forbidden words, you know, the ones that get blocked by the censor. But then I had a thought because one was a really naughty word. You can't say it. You can't. And I said, what if the word of the day, just like with Pee Wee Herman, you know, Pee Wee Herman in his Pee Wee's Playhouse, it wasn't really for kids, just like a lot of cartoons back then and now, and even like Barbie aren't meant for kids. He has a lot of inside jokes. And Pee Wee had this thing with, what's the word of today's word of the day? Is it could be something like drink. And so when anybody says drink, you scream at the top of your lungs. So that's, I don't know if do you remember that word of the day? So
Oh, I do. Everybody's screaming, "Yeah!" Like when
yeah.
T-Rex comes in. Our word of the
So
day
I
is T-Rex.
said,
Yeah.
yeah.
What's up,
So
T-Rex?
I said, but here's the thing: what if the word of the day was that very bad word? So yeah, and what if that really bad word was also your safety word? What's your safe word? You
That's what I
say,
mean. Like, yeah.
Nika whiskey.
That's what I
Yeah.
mean. Like when you're in the van, oh, like $10 from T-Rex Trucking. Sorry for being late. Howdy wink, abs max. Y'all rock.
Oh, hi.
Cool.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you,
I
sir.
wish I
Thank
talked
you,
to
sir.
T-Rex. I had a call from. I hope he doesn't watch the show, but I had a call from this guy. He's a weirdo, but he's currently in the
There's a lot of
States,
them out there.
and I think he was asking me. He tried to make something that it wasn't. He sends me a link for a handheld. These are not walkie-talkies. Handheld CB radio, and he goes, "Hey, Max, what do you think of these? Because I'm driving. I guess he was driving his stupid Honda Accord from down to Oklahoma or something like this, and he's trying to intimate that he's doing like super secret, top secret shit, and need to know, and all this other stuff." And I said, "Okay, so what purpose are you using your this handheld CB radio? Because the range on these smaller ones, both transmission, even though if it's like, I don't care how many watts it is, by law, it's going to be scaled down going out on 4 watts. And, and I just kind of thought, how good is this? I mean, are you just trying to talk to another car? Or, walkie talkies, they have a much more limited, like 2 mile range at max or whatever. Fewer channels, and they're open. And there was, I said, Lord, do you want to, you can get these ones that are portable, they're ham, but you need a license for them technically. And I realized something, a guy like T-Rex knows this because he uses real equipment. And I said, the handheld thing is, I was thinking, oh, this guy thinks he's going to have this dinky handheld, and he's going to listen to the chatter, but the ranges are going to be limited. And so which is good, because who wants to hear from him? So I just thought, I was laughing, but it was almost a question I would have put to T-Rex and said, hey, this wiener thinks he wants to get a CB radio, but the end, and he was asking, that uses 9 AA batteries, but the length of it, if he was turning it on and using it to listen to, I think the batteries would just go out like that, and you wouldn't have a great experience. Because what I figured out was, this guy has an old car, and he had a fuse issue. It wasn't a fuse issue. It was this car stereo that they still have these days in old cars. And it was, what I don't know what the word is, but it was draining the battery. So you have the switch and the fuse, right? So you have, when your engine is turned off, it should be off. And most things are like that. But certain functions, even when the engine's off, there's a fuse that's still, I forget the word, it's still switched on. And sometimes if the fuse that is for your car radio is switched on, it means even when your engine's turned off, it's on and it drains your battery. So it's either fixing that fuse, not the fuse itself, but the switch, or it's probably something that's in your car stereo. So the guy had just turned it off, plugged it out, turned it off. So he wanted something to listen to. That's why his simple request. He can't say something like, "Hey, my car stereo radio is fucked. Do you think this handheld will work? And I can listen to it." He can't say that. He has to make it sound like he's Mr. CIA agent or something like that. Which then I'm thinking, well, it doesn't make any fucking sense,
Yeah. That's not interesting. It's the whole ham radio thing is very interesting. It says, T-Rex says, I'm a ham. they do make GMRS radios that look cheap, but can output up to 5 watts about 1 mile-ish.
Yeah, that's what it was, like a GMRS radio. Yeah. So but you still do. Do they need to have a license for them? I think they do. I don't know, but it was a funny thing because yeah, I think I don't know what he ended up doing. Oh, and his headliner was I realized in his car the headliner was coming down, so he was going to use
I
duct
hate
tape.
that.
Oh,
Oh, I
so
had a
what you
car
do
that
is
did
this.
that.
Okay,
Oh,
so look, it's not a recallable issue like in the older Hondas. It's the adhesive
uh-huh.
in the foam in the headliner, and this could be a safety issue because it goes down and blocks your rear view vision or something like that, right?
Yep. Yep.
So
Thumbtacks.
some people do, and I think it's stupid. The two things you don't want to do, don't use duct tape because later if you take it to a garage that does do headliner replacement, they're gonna it's an additional pain to get rid of that fucking adhesive and everything. So the
Right.
three things you can do are, I would say, on the if the headliner is coming down from the edges, you can use a low tack or medium tack, double-sided carpet tape just on the edges that will temporarily hold it. Plus, people sometimes do pins, but then if you run the risk possibly of puncturing a wire, or even if you have a sunroof and they have little pipe water things. But if you're really careful, you can use one of those what are they called? There's those little tiny pins you get with a spiral. I think they're really good. They're used for embroidery or something. I don't know, but it's like a little push pin, but it's a corkscrew thing, and those ones then you can hold them into your ceiling, and until you're ready. And so here's the thing: what you don't want to do is people said, oh, now you can just mask off all your glass and all the areas, and you can spray in this adhesive, and that adhesive will then restore the tack up there, possibly, but it's probably the foam that's gone to F, you know. So this gross foam has deteriorated. So what you need to do is sometimes you just need to replace it, and it's only a couple $100s, in most cases.
I used thumbtacks when mine came down. I can't remember what car it was. I think it was I don't know. I can't remember which one it was. But I had the same problem with the liner started falling down.
Yeah.
So I ended up using
It's the
thumbtacks.
temperature, the adhesive fails, and sometimes it's the foam that's failing, the foam's deteriorating. And so that's why, just like if it's that case, that's why spraying some freaking adhesive up there, some tacky stuff, that's not really going to work. And you're liable to make a bigger mess. So I didn't realize, but I think I looked in the States, and depending on the model of the car, it's not that expensive for a new headliner,
Yeah,
But then the guy driving out with his his sway bars. What do you call the sway bars? Your sway bars on your thing, and he goes, "Oh yeah, I gotta fix those." I said, "You're not driving on the interstate with them." You go, and I said, "You corner on those, or you're going at high speed. You're gonna really f your car up, Yeah. So, what did he reply to me? He was very angry. He said claimed he's not stupid, and it was a different car. Liar's gonna lie. It's just very strange. I just want to see what he wrote. Shit. Yeah. Okay. Oh, okay. It's not there. He was. I mean, so this is the stuff I get. I mean, I get from this guy all the time, and I know that a lot of people, you guys, you watch these things, and it's alternative news on, whatever. Well, he's saying sending me stuff on, can you get this latest report on this angles on EMP because it's a big thing, and but at the same time he's going, oh shit, what happened in Hawaii? And I'm going, oh come on, give me a break. Okay, this is not. He's always kind of jumping to these conclusions, and there's in his case, there's always people to help him. Say, every freaking celebrity, that is passing, he's going, it's the vaccine, and I'm going like, really? This chick does a lot of coke. That's don't tell me that that's Marie Presley and even these athletes. A lot of kids, anyone who's doing this is way before the coof stuff. But if you are 16, 17, I don't know, in your 20s, and you're doing some form of steroids, because hey, and you may be amateur professional athletes or whatever. At some point, one of the number one side effects of, especially when it's careless and casual, is a form of myocarditis, and you get hypertrophy and things like that. And so then when you have athletes, they go, these professional athletes are paid millions of dollars. They have the best healthcare. They shouldn't fall over. There's something's wrong here. And I'm, no, you're right. They absolutely don't abuse drugs or do coke or beat their wife. I say NFL. I say, how the NFL beats the MLB? Hands down. They go, yeah, well, I said, yeah, beating their wives, killing them even, with domestic violence.
I mean, and NBA too, man. When you brought this up, it reminded me of Len Bias. Who remembers Len Bias out there?
Oh, yeah. Oh, but the Len Bias fed into another kind of misinformation trope, because they were telling you in the 80s, Nancy Reagan, not just say no, but they were saying, look, kid, if you do drugs like just once, then you're gonna die, like Len Bias. Like, they're trying to make it look like he's minding my own business. I have a great future. Oh, okay. I'll just try it once. That's not what happened to Len Bias.
Right. No, he tried it a lot.
Yeah. So you're gonna get that's
the thing though. People say, okay, well maybe just a little, right? So they do just a little, and they get that really first initial kick, right? Their teeth go numb, they're feeling all jacked and ready. They're like, wow, they've never been brought to that level before. It's so fast.
Well, the trope is, I think, well, maybe it is. I haven't done math or whatever, but it's always this. And for a lot of people, it's fear. They'll say, wow, that dopamine rush is going to be so intensely good that you're going to get addicted. But with a lot of other drugs, which are far essentially more addictive, heroin is an interesting count. For most people who take it, they don't do it intravenously. They take it orally. And the first time, the experience is surprisingly underwhelming. It doesn't create disassociation and Walter. And so that's attraction. It gives a very cool, chill feel. And it's the amount that is required for a first time user for oral it costs less than a 6-pack. I don't know, roughly. No hangover. And you can have an effective honeymoon, and this is almost any substance, for about 2 weeks. 2 weeks, you can have a substance where you're really not hitting the hangovers. You're not feeling out of control. You're not going out of your mind. You're not waking up with blackouts or anything else. And you're not getting complaints about your behavior being out of control. In fact, you could probably do it at work for about 2 weeks. And then after about 2 weeks, a lot of substances, you start developing physical dependency. Suddenly, you need three things happen. The same amount that gets you by suddenly doesn't work anymore. You need to take more. Okay, fine, you take more. Now if you don't take more, you start getting initially, you don't feel good, kind of like withdrawal symptoms, and then you get in, beyond tolerance, that tolerance developing, then you get dependency and the addiction. And it's so that's a really sly way to do it, because the first 2 weeks, I would say, of a lot of substances that are prescribed, it works pretty good. It's a honeymoon period. Look, the original 1963 diazepam, Valium. Even to this day, over 60 years, they would say short-term insomnia or anxiety, you can prescribe it for up to no more than 2 weeks. They actually said it back then, and they still say it now. But here's the weird thing. A lot of physicians, I know in Japan, they'll prescribe these benzodiazepines for much longer than 2 weeks. They are not at all concerned about this 2-week advisory period. And the weird thing is, you remember the Rolling Stones' Mother's Little Helper? The Little Yellow
Oh yeah.
Pill? Mother's Little Helper. That song is about addiction, about housewives who are getting Valium, which is just prescribed. That song was from the 60s. Holy shit. I mean, if you think about it, it's a very amazingly prescient song that just, it is still relevant to this day. This is why benzodiazepines exactly are incredibly, I think, in terms of addiction potential, are dangerous, because you get, people are always thinking, oh, yes, definitely, if you're getting opiates and everything else, but benzos are just as. And anyways, doesn't matter. Is it the oxys? Is it opiates? Is it the benzos? Is it H? A lot of them follow almost similar 2-week honeymoon periods. Yeah, I wonder if that's with maybe that's with relationships too. Summer romance. 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Good enough. After that, kind of psycho. Got to go back to school. Bye. Oh, you're my teacher? Oh, oops. That's.
How's it going, Pyramid 7? Welcome. Hey, Suzanne, how you doing? Yeah, man, it's crazy. The one thing about some of the epidemics that are going on. I was over at Scott Freedom's last night. We were talking about this. I think one of the most underwhelming, like one of the things that don't get talked about is like the people that have long-term like meth addictions. They tend to, I mean, it alters their brain in such a way that they lose the ability to care, right? And it really affects how they are for the rest of their lives. They could have been perfectly normal before that, maybe just a normal human being with it, their normal conditions. But I've noticed that when you look at the people who have had these kind of addictions for long term, like really get caught up in it, suddenly their ability to care goes out the window, and their ability to lie to themselves ramps up to about 1,000. So they start becoming outward liars themselves. They start to believe that they got to con everything, and they gotta they're searching for that. And I believe that even if they come off of it, they're searching for that care again, and they just can't find it, like within themselves, to care about something.
No, okay, yeah. This is not. It's not math, but I've been in Japan. Currently the only allowable form of stimulant medication for adult ADHD is extended release methylphenidate, which is Concerto. So I had been taking that for several years. And I other more civilized countries, you have access to a lot of other modalities like Vyvanse or Adderall. Adderall is actually two proprietary blends of amphetamine, and because of that exact nature, in Japan, that is a class A or class Schedule 1 substance, and so it's completely verboten here.
So they don't even prescribe it in Japan?
No, what I'm saying, no, not Adderall and not Vyvanse.
Oh, wow.
That's the only allowable stimulant medication for treatment of adult ADHD in Japan is extended release methylphenidate. Methylphenidate is known as Ritalin. So they allowed for Ritalin only until 2007 in Japan for children and adult ADHD, and then they got rid of it and they replaced it with extended release methylphenidate. So what Concerta basically is, it's methylphenidate in a very special hardened capsule with a tiny, tiny hole. And so it releases the methylphenidate over a 9 to 10 hour period,
Right. It's
And
funny. I was prescribed that as a kid,
Mhm.
Ritalin, like early, I was the early test group, right?
Yeah, so
And
methylphenidate was do this. It probably, I'm going to guess with this, if you have, not everybody, but a lot of children and adults who have who actually have ADHD. Well, first of all, if you were to give Ritalin, methylphenidate, to a normal person without ADHD, it would probably respond just like speed, like a form of speed, or a stimulant, right? But if you give it to many adults or children with ADHD, if you give methylphenidate to them, they aren't stimulated. It actually makes them too much sedated. They feel that they're sedated. The word zombie, they feel like a zombie and they don't like it. So it's very common with children, because you don't know the dosing for children, to actually give them too much Ritalin. And actually, if you look at the dosing recommendations for children, I'm always surprised because they're very similar to the dosing requirements for adults. And I'm going like, screw me. Like I think a full-grown adult, yeah, definitely it's less than for an adult, but it's not that much less. And so I think that if you give too much to a child and he can't say, "Hey, doc, I think you gave me too much, you quack,"
right.
they're just kind of not going to like it. So a lot of kids, I just heard from one of my friends, his son, who's grown now. He said he was prescribed Ritalin when he was a kid here, and he didn't take it. And his mother didn't know about it until he just said it made him feel like a zombie. And I said, yeah, because
Yep.
my experience as an adult, once I broke open the capsule, I figured out how to get 29 milligrams of Ritalin, and I took it in one.
Uh-huh.
And you know what happened to me? I went to bed. I
Right.
just went, ooh, and it didn't address the ADHD. I just went
Right.
knocked
I
out.
don't think it does. And honestly, I think it does to children. What it does is it gives them the ability to have courage when taking drugs. It says, okay,
Oh,
how? I've been high before. I didn't even realize it, but I'm not scared to take a pill and put it in my mouth. I'm not scared to try this. I'm not scared. That's what
yeah,
it kind
no,
of did with me.
but
But the
Ritalin doesn't create dissociative. I don't know feelings. But it was
but it
But
makes
the
you
other
think
thing,
that, hey, look, I'm bulletproof. I can take this stuff. And it
it
just
can
it,
cure
it
that as
removes
well.
the fear of trying things. That's what I found.
Especially if you were a child and you were prescribed more than 60 milligrams. Now, this is not like a full length study or something. This is from 20 years ago. But when they had sample sizes with children prescribed Ritalin, those children who were prescribed under 60 milligrams did not develop tolerance. Now, that could have been a self-selecting thing, but the children who were prescribed over 60 milligrams of Ritalin per day, methylphenidate per day, you had double-digit groups that were getting tolerance, which is what I experienced, which means you're taking the maximum dosage every day,
I
and
remember too.
it's not working. And yet, if you stop taking it, you get these terrible ADHD symptoms. So you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. So
Right.
what I did was about half a year ago, 5 months ago, I titrated it off. Thankfully, I'm not like somebody who's not supposed to be using it, and you go to a rehab center and they're going to make you go cold turkey. But even in those cases, your withdrawal symptoms are going to be no more than 4 to 7 days of whatever. But I didn't have to worry because it's a prescribed substance, so I go titrate down 25%, use the usual rule, and then you can titrate off it, and then you're at zero. Now, do you feel better? No, because, well, you don't have withdrawal symptoms, but for 90 days at least, you no longer have concentrations of your dopamine and your epinephrine and your norepinephrine. So you're absolutely going to feel like shit. You're going to feel like crap. And I knew this, but it was but when you're off it, so you need almost 30, 90 days or 3 months or 4 months for all the receptors, you know, that you were worked on to kind of reset. I don't know if it, and there I'm a little, I'm wondering, does it reset, or are you permanently screwed? It's like when I tell guys who are 30 they're going to take testosterone replacement therapy, and I was like, you know, you really want to double think this, because you're probably going to have to keep taking it until you're like 80 or 90 or whatever, because there's a good chance that it will permanently, and maybe that's not true, uh, kill the ability of your body to produce its own testosterone, you know. So before you go onto that one-way ticket for TRT, you might want to do a number of other things when you're young enough and strong enough to do more exercise, and you can do like vitamin D3. You can do a lot more stuff before you think that you actually need it. So that, and now I'm going to go back. So if with methylphenidate, and someone who's prescribed that, and you're going, okay, it's going to be at least 90 days of being feeling like crap, you know, and you're not replacing it with some other medication, then I'm going to go back to the people who've been taking meth, you know, or similar forms of stimulants where they're getting that dopamine, you know, rush. And so now, what do they do for dopamine? I don't know. Jerk off, watch porn, play, find other dopamine sources, or yeah. But
Or like,
I
or like,
think that they have issues with their things. What's that word? I have a real hard time. People seem to have empathy. I'm kidding.
empathy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's a strange word. I've never felt it. The dictionary says it's empathy. It's, but that was yeah, that's what I've been I would all set, like after going off that concern, to say, okay, we'll try another one of the few remaining off-label stimulant medications or whatever. Then I thought, you know what, I don't fucking want it. If I'm going on to another cycle of tolerance, you know, so I just thought, okay, I'll figure something else out. Because that was just very, very, it was a weird ride. Anyways, I figured something out. I didn't know it was after I did a Moderna shot. I did the second one in September 2021, and I had a adverse event. It was angina, but it was more from it was I figured that what that was, but it wasn't. It was actually an AE directly from the second.
Max, can you read this? What does this say?
Which one?
Right here.
Os Maxanda. Hey, it's like os, like it's a masculine greeting. Os, hey, Max is here. It's Max.
Right on.
You know.
Is Max the smiley face right here? I see the second letter. I see a lot of smiley faces.
No, it's phonetic. So os is o, yeah.
Yeah.
Phonetic. And I don't see a smiley face. You see so look at the character o, s, ma, and then exclamation mark, ma, and then there's a s, k, s, and then sa, san, da, and then the squiggly exclamation mark. Yeah. It's phonetic.
Okay. Literally, sup, it's Max. Cool. Thank you for that. Mo, I guess that's how you say that.
Yeah, you can read the katakana. You could learn that in 3 hours.
Oh, that'd be so cool. I know my son would love it. My son loves Japan. He loves everything
Japan. A family
Japan.
friend wrote a book. I don't know if I haven't talked to him. He got pissed off at me a while ago, but it was like, his name is James Isaac. He's a genius. think his dad was one of the founders of Motorola. Anyways, it must have been the 60s or 70s. He joined a convent in the States, right? And he wasn't really likely to be a Catholic priest. He kind of said, like, this is funny. This is after Mass one time, and he was saying, during the time, where, you read about things like, I would read things about Summer of Love, Woodstock, you had seminaries were not very popular for recruiting. And so they turned a blind eye, he says, to like homosexuals and everything else. And he said they probably had orgies on the weekend that the diocese probably knew about, but they turned a blind eye to because they needed to have their numbers in the seminaries, the seminaries. Anyways, this, and he was explaining why there was an overweight of not just scandal and sexual abuse scandal, but also child sexual abuse scandal in the Catholic Church in North America, and he explained it was because, in part, because of the blind eye that was turned to get the numbers. They let in people because otherwise, what would a normal red-blooded young man be exploring at that time? Depending
Right.
on your conservative, whether you're conservative or liberal or whatever, you'd be doing. There's a lot more fun or exciting things to be doing than to going to a seminary, right? And he went to, I think he joined an order. He was in Mexico, and then he joined a German order. And I think I got to go back. I my memory keeps on fooling me, but I'm sure that the German order he joined is called Divine Wind, which is why I keep on confusing it with Mexican. After a couple burritos, in any event, his orders were to go to a Catholic university in Japan, in Nagoya, Japan, called Nanzan. And when he was there, I guess he met a couple of students, foreign students studying Japanese, and he taught him a method he developed by himself. And it was kind of weird because the Japanese language professors were angry. They brought him over to the dean of the school, and he said, who was a Catholic priest, he was all Catholic. And he said, this man is claiming, he can read Japanese, but they go, he lies because he knows the Chinese character for dog, but he doesn't know cat. And so they kind of, on the chalkboard, they made him write the characters and to prove, like Galileo, he's on trial, and they go, how come you don't know the one for cat? Huh? He goes, because I never studied it. But he had a weird method. And the method is, it's actually dependent upon your existing vocabulary of English, if you're an English native speaker. So the books he had were done over a bet. There was a visiting Portuguese priest at Nanzan, and he goes, this is like the devil's tongue. No one could ever freaking learn it. And so Father Heisig, or Jim Heisig, said to him, I bet you like a pitcher of beer, I can teach you to read it in 3 hours. And he goes, what? So he wrote that first book, the Hiragana. There's 2 phonetic alphabets, Hiragana and Katakana. And he later published it. So he has a whole system. And let me see. Do you want me to put it in your Discord?
I mean, sure, you can do that or share it or whatever you
Yeah.
want to do. Yeah.
Well, it's a PDF. That's why. Wait, where's your Discord? Oh, here it is. What's a good section in your Discord?
Let's see. I might not have one up front.
General. How about general?
Okay, throw it in there.
Okay, so I'm just gonna try to find. If I can find it, it's learning the. Oh, okay. So, I am not good at doing 2 things at the same time.
Oh yeah, let's leave. Let's leave, please.
I'm trying to find Hold on, I'll probably find it. Oh, maybe I'll do it later. Because here, I got it. I'm gonna post them in the Discord for you guys. Okay, I put it in the Discord. The first one, and I'll explain what it is. These are PDF books. You should actually buy them, but there you go. Now, okay. So what I put in the Discord are 2 books: Heisig Method, Remembering the Kana, Part 1, Hiragana. The second one is Heisig Method, Remembering the Kana. Kana is character. Part 2, Katakana. Hiragana are the phonetic alphabet for Japanese words that are inherently Japanese words. You know, we're not talking about the Chinese characters, the complex ones. So, like A, B, C, D, kind of like that, right? And then katakana it's a phonetic alphabet for Japanese words that are of foreign origin, like foreign names. Or
my son wanted me to tell you thank you for that, because he got really excited when I said, hey, I just got this PDF on how to learn Japanese. He's like, oh, thank you.
Okay, it's like chocolate or whatever. So here's the thing. He does have a method for teaching the Japanese the Chinese characters, but let's go and at least say you're walking around in Tokyo and you see especially signs, right? Signboards. Now, a lot of words are in katakana. Chocolate, or I don't know, Midtown. It's not going to be in hiragana. It's going to be Midtown, or my name, Max, right? So suddenly, if you can read that, if somebody gave you like the Matrix, like, I know Kung Fu. Well, if you know katakana, suddenly it's like you have glasses and you'll be able to read. It'll be weird. Like, what the fuck is chocolate? Oh, chocolate, you know, but at least you'll be able to read it. And the weird thing is, are you old enough to have remembered the Make Your Own Adventure books?
Oh, I love those.
Okay, so you're walking down a cliff. You come to the end of a corridor. You see a red door and you see a blue door. Which one do you open? If you open the red door, go to page 17. If you open the blue door, go to page 29. Then you have to flip to 29. You don't read that book continuously. Every time you make a decision in the book, you go to the other page, right? That's Make Your Own Adventure book. Well, guess what? His books, you don't go through A, B, C, D, E. You go through one. Then I don't know why. You go to the next one. You go to the next one. So
yeah, I choose the adventure for you. Here you go. Here's another one.
Okay, so he wrote in katakana characters. He wrote katakana. In hiragana characters, he wrote hiragana. That's the phonetic alphabet using for distinctly Japanese words. And then kanji, which is, I guess.
Cool. It's very cool.
So, yeah, if you read that, if you Chinese characters kanji, if you read that, that's why the book is so. I mean, he tells you don't do it all in one setting. Try writing it out. For example, the character for the sound for ne, N-E, ne, well, it's distinctly for an English-speaking adult, really, because it looks like the hull of a ship that has crash landed on the ocean, naval. And then if you forget how to write the character ne, you end up, it looks kind of like the beginning, the hull of a ship, you know, breaching shore. So it's kind of, okay. And that's corny, but you start, and then sometimes it's a hybrid lesson. Like there's this character that looks like kind of like a stick, he. The sound is he. And in Japanese, the word for snake is hebi. So now you're going, oh, I know that the word for snake in Japanese is hebi, and that character for snake, hebi, it looks like a snake. And you're going, oh, well, but it's weird. It's the order that he puts it. That's why it's like a make your own adventure. And if you're a guy and you do like a dump a day or whatever, you're sitting down, you're reading that, you go, oh, I took a great dump and I can read Japanese. So that's what that's actually a cool book. It can get you started. You know the baseball manager Bobby Valentine?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
He can read Japanese. And people think, really? He bullshits a lot, you know? Claims he made the first burrito wrap sandwich and all this. And I said, yeah, but he can read Japanese. Because why? Because I gave him the books. And he actually went through and did the kanji as well. Maybe he has about 2,000 characters or something. You know, I mean, he's not totally fluent super speaker. That's a different character. But he can read this stuff. Yeah. Because he was the manager of the Chiba Marines Baseball Club from 2005 to 2009 here. And I think he's the color commentator for ESPN for the Angels right now. Yeah, I just emailed him the other day. He sent me something. Oh, by the way, I don't know what this is. Oh, I see. There's a brewery called Stone Brewing in the U.S., and they're going to be the brewer for Sapporo beer, I guess. So, oh, that's cool. So there's some beer news. Sapporo beer has that really cool silver bullet.
Oh yeah, I remember Sapporo beer. Yeah,
Sapporo
definitely.
beer I like it. Sapporo beer is good. Of the Japanese beers, I think it's better than Kirin. It's better than Sapporo. Sorry, but Suntory. Better than Asahi. And so I think they're. And when I was in the States, and maybe still now, I think the Sapporo beer that you get in the silver bullet cans were imported, and maybe people like that. But they're going to be doing I think they're going to do contract brewing in the States, which still is cool. But what is that? Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out where these okay, the Angels are over in Anaheim. You watching much baseball or
not too much these days?
Mm-hmm.
It's been a while. You think in my town I would, but I'm a big football fan, and I'm really excited for tomorrow. As my team will take the field to crush New England Patriots. Yes.
Oh. Mofox said some Japanese beer brands here in the States are made in Canada or Italy. Canada, because like 75% of the hops, which is a for flavoring in Japan, Japanese beer is from Canada. I guess you get hops from Australia too, and maybe Europe, but most of the hops.
I think the Australian hop is kangaroo hops down there.
Yeah. So the hops are, the hops are mostly Canada. Italy is interesting because I didn't know Japanese beer brands were brewing in Italy, but I know of one Kentucky bourbon firm. They're significantly big, but they are totally almost stealth. People don't know what they're doing, what they're up to, but they, just like the spaghetti westerns where you filmed westerns in Italy, I realize they have I don't know how they do it, but they have bottling in Italy of bourbon whiskey. So I don't know if they take the mash over there or they bottle in keg casks and they ship it over to Italy and bottle it in Italy. But I've seen some interesting bottles of bourbon or whiskey that's Kentucky bourbon origin, but comes out as kind of like a spaghetti Western whiskey from Italy. Yeah. But that's they're opening what is it? Is it IJW whiskey?
Real quick while you're looking that up,
IJW,
Talking Trash
so if
Juice,
you look
thank
up
you
a
for
company called
getting. Go ahead.
There's a company that nobody really knows about. People go, they're really, really discreet. Sorry. But they're a bourbon producer called IJW. And if you look them up, you'll see articles like U.S. bourbon maker IJW plots debut as they're going to build a distillery in Japan's northern island of Hokkaido. And earlier this spring, they're going to build a distillery in Shelbyville. That's Tennessee, isn't it? No? Where's Shelbyville? So that would be Tennessee whiskey. No, Shelbyville is Kentucky. No, Shelbyville is Tennessee, right?
Let me see.
Where's Danville?
Look it up.
Oh,
Danville. It's in Virginia. Well, there is one in Virginia. Talking Trash Juice, thank you for the gifting the memberships. I don't know some of these people, but I think I've seen them around before.
No, I got confused.
Okay.
They're building they are because they bought
Tam, welcome to the winner circle. There we go.
They bought land in Shelbyville, Kentucky. Yeah, that's right.
Oh, cool. Sorry about that.
Yeah, you get confused with places because sometimes different same southern states they have the same named place, and you get confused.
Oh yeah,
right?
Yeah. There's no rule that you can't name a city after another city or have the same name as another city in this country. I don't know if there's rules about that anywhere, but here there's definitely not one because we like to reuse names or we like to claim them for our own states. And we'll claim them from other countries too. They got Athens, Georgia, Sparta. We have Spartansville. We have all kinds of places, man.
Oh, so the guys over at IJW, because people don't know, they often say we don't know what they're doing, but they had a guy. One of their distillers, Kevin Curtis, came from Woodford Reserve and Michter's and Angel's Envy, and their other guy, they had a blender guy, Steve Hughes, and he was at Brown Forman for like 40 years or something. So what they've done is, I think in 2 years ago, Whiskey Advocate, they reported like IGW. Nobody knows who they are. They have like tens of thousands of barrels of bourbon and rye at its Danville, Kentucky facility, but nobody. That's all in bond, and beyond the public filing. No freaking idea who they are because they're not recognizable. They're not like there's not like this wiki like you would have on other distilleries, right? But yeah, I got to know who they were. So okay. Where are we now? Okay, so those books are on your general site for the Heisig method, and I think there should be an article somewhere. Oh, you know what? There's a wiki on this guy. Oh, damn it. He's also done Chinese language, but I don't think that's interesting. Hold on. I'm not really good at doing two things at the same time here.
Oh, I just realized I was talking to the wrong mic. I do that. I have two mics. I keep switching back and forth on my thing. Yeah, this is interesting, by the way. I wanted to point that out. That's why I kept flashing it. And I did want to thank Talking Trash and Truth for getting the 5 memberships, and just to welcome Tam to the winner's circle. She's always been there, but now it's even more official than it ever was. So welcome, Tam, and all the other people that Jamie, Paul Ferrari, Jamie and Deborah, and Lorraine W. Now, Lorraine W. I've seen before. I haven't seen her in a while, but everybody else, I hope you will stop by and hang out. And Tam, as always, is a very special person in this channel. So glad that she's here.
Okay. Yep. I just put that on your Discord. Here we go. Yeah. So what else are you doing this week? Are you got other stuff lined up?
Yeah, we're gonna watch an interesting documentary tomorrow night about tomorrow evening, I should say, at 7 p.m. Eastern. Myself and Talking Trash and Truth will be launching our new show called Old School Watch Along Party Sundays. And that what we're going to do is go look at old school documentaries that were put out like, 10, 15 years ago concerning, topics of the important topics. We covered Aaron Russo's America from Freedom to Fascism last week. And it was very eye-opening. I know, I realize a lot of people haven't seen these. These are like bread and butter to me. These are like foundation root documentaries. And so we had a good time, and we got like over 95% of the crowd with about 20 some votes in the poll to say yes, do a show weekly. So we're gonna do it. This week's gonna be a bit called Psy Wars, and this one's really good. I used to recommend this one all the time. It has to do with the media mind control and how information is used to box people into narratives and omit the truth, hide the truth, overwrite the truth. And it's a very interesting documentary, and I can't wait to watch it again tomorrow. And then we're also going to touch on Operation Paperclip, which this documentary covers, but we're also going to talk about it afterwards, as in Tucker Carlson just came out with some information. As you know, he was in CNN and other places about Operation Paperclip, and that it might still be going on. So we're going to really dive into that. Nice little casual Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening kind of show. So nice addendum to what I do on Wednesday nights. That's what I have coming up
Oh yeah,
for the end of the week.
It's kind of funny. I can't remember. Was it like maybe it's 3 weeks ago, or I went over to my friend's house, and there's a guy he used to know who recently retired as a U.S. Foreign Service officer. He's a good guy. He's an American guy. He's in California, and I met his wife a couple times, and I didn't realize like she's not from California. And he explained, he was quite kind of proud. She grew up in Argentina. Was it Argentina? Yeah. And was in a German enclave. So her grandparents came over right at the end of World War II, apparently. And he described it. They were a German Nazi enclave. And I was like, holy shoot, yeah. So you mentioned Paperclip, and I thought, oh yeah, that's because you remember Adolf Eichmann, they caught him. I can't remember when they caught him. When did they catch him? In it was in 1960 or something like that. And they caught Adolf Eichmann in Buenos Aires in Argentina. And it wasn't just like he ran off to Argentina and, oh, you got me. You know, I think the same time is, I can't remember who else was there. They realized that they couldn't get both. There was another guy they got later. And I think he was hiding out in Bolivia instead of Argentina. He was in Klaus Barbie, and but they got Klaus Barbie maybe in, I don't know, 1970 or something. I don't know. He was I can't remember when they got him. Maybe 1983 or something like that. But I can't remember which country it was. Was it Bolivia? It's probably Bolivia. Operation Paperclip, though, focuses on the repatriation of the German scientists. A lot of them, I think, were in Alabama, weren't they? In the Huntsville, and others in Los Alamos, New Mexico, depending on which area, which specialty you had.
Well, this particularly has to do with the media, like placing assets in the media. Well, hopefully I got the name right. I'm gonna be questioning it right now. But no, it was specifically.
Okay.
Yeah. It's about media.
Oh, you know why? You know why you were so quiet? Okay. Operation Paperclip is an intelligence program that took about 1,600 former German Nazi scientists and engineers to the U.S. at the end of World War II. That's what Operation Paperclip I thought you were talking about. That's why I started talking about Nazis.
No, I believe this is this refers to
No,
media,
you're right. You're right. There probably is a Operation Paperclip, but just like you have towns with more than a town in different states, there is an older Operation Paperclip.
No, I think you're talking about Mockingbird.
No, Operation Paperclip. This is for German scientists, Nazi scientists, to give them safe haven, and we use them for both the nuclear program and also, especially NASA, the space program, rocket engineers.
Okay, I could be backwards on this one.
Yeah, no.
Mockingbird was Intel assets in me. Okay, my bad.
So there's an Operation Paperclip too. Yeah. And so okay, if you're wondering why I was,
I think paper. I think media. That's what it was. My own brain playing tricks on me. But you know me, I'd rather know the truth than be right. So I have no problem correcting that right away.
Probably Paperclip is because it was so old. I bet Paperclip there is a Twitter thing or something like that. Was it a media thing?
Yeah, let me take a look at my my watch list too, because I know that I saved this just particularly for tomorrow about Tucker. Because Tucker Carlson recently came out and disclosed some information about this. And he okay. Let me see. Okay, you're right. There it is, right in front of my daggone eyes. Operation Mockingbird.
Someone wondering why I was talking about Nazis and hiding out in South America, because you said Operation Paperclip, and so that was actually something that the U.S. did at the end of World War II. And
thank
they
you
also
guys
did
for
that
helping me.
Japanese.
You're right.
The doctor in charge of the Army unit, 9th Army unit for Unit 731, says, what's his name? Shiro Ishii. He was given, I guess now, in those days, $200,000 is a lot. Maybe that'd be like what, 2 million. Anyways, he went to the States. You don't hear about him, but he was given similar treatment as a Nazi scientist. This is Unit 731. Everyone's saying, oh, that's like the Japanese were doing what Joseph Mengele had been doing, human experimentation. And development of bioweapons. Yeah. And live vivisection, things like that.
Yep. Here's why the crowd is so awesome right there. Thank you, Jacob, man. Jacob helped me with that one. Like I said, man, I'd rather know the truth to be right. If I'm, I'm human, I get things mixed up in my head. I got lots going on. But thank you,
Mockingbird?
man.
Oh,
That's
okay.
that's why my crowd's so awesome right there. Help me make sure that I got it right, man. I appreciate that so much.
Oh, that's Mockingbird. Is it Dumb and Dumber? Yeah. Oh no, you're gonna get a copyright strike if you play this. But
A strike? Ooh.
in Dumb and Dumber.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, you don't want a copyright strike, by playing a movie from
No.
a clip, but Dumb and Dumber,
Yeah,
they
I would
have a
never
truck
do that.
and they give a ride to the guy,
Max,
and
I would
they
never
sing
do that.
Mockingbird. It's a great scene.
I would never do that.
Yeah, you got to be careful with that.
Oh
Okay.
man. So what do you got on the horizon, my friend? Are you gonna do anything? You just living life? You got anything big coming up? Yourself, man. I tell you what. You know what? Here's the thing. People love you, man. They really do. And everywhere I go, everywhere I see you, people are loving Max Mura. They want more Max Mura. That's the truth. I don't know what your ambitions are, but you've got star power, my friend, and you should activate that whenever you care to do that. And I'll always have your
Well,
back 100%.
one thing, I don't know what I probably it's probably more
You would put
procrastination
us all to
and
shame.
to do a
You
channel.
put us all to shame.
No, I haven't done a channel, and I've asked people like, "Oh, how do you do video?" And they go, "Oh, it's really easy." And I go, "Oh, okay, yeah." And then I don't do it, and I'm just still kind of clued out. But
Oh, dude, anytime. I'll spend all
so
day and as long
what I
as
was
you
thinking
want,
of,
helping you do that.
well, so Robert Whiting is a friend of mine now. I might ask him. He does have a Substack, a paid subscription Substack, and he writes great stuff. I just put a link. I don't know if you have to get over a paywall or anything, but it was on the cold Japan and the Cold War and all the spy stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know. He's coming back from the States. I could either do an interviews with him. I think he's cool with that. But I was also thinking of just featuring or reading his stuff, his articles he puts out. A lot of it's on baseball. He worked for both NSA and CIA. He does current commentary. He recently republished an article on Trump and Godzilla, and it's a decent piece. And I thought, okay, if I was almost rereading his stuff and just representing it, would that be interesting or useful? Yeah.
Let's find out. Let's put a poll in the chat. It says,
No,
should Max start a channel and live stream?
Yeah, I could live stream. Live streaming.
You would kill it. I'm not one of those people that like to try to put pressure on people.
I don't know what to. And so right now, this is where doing Cringe Van was kind of interesting because all the joking aside and everything, I would say that Josh and me and Copium, he did a lot of work, like just the pre-work, and he knows how he's going to do it and go out there. And it was really easy for me because I didn't even have to drive like BP. And it's funny because some people were kind of teasing him, hey, what's how come nothing's coming out? And it took them some time, but I think people you realize, well, that's that I don't know, I can't. That's a lot of ability, a lot of work. I don't know how to do that part of it, that edit and everything else. And yeah, but yeah, I might it
Well, you
might be And another thing I noticed is phenomenon. It's like right now on this. When I join Josh and BP, and usually it's going, but sometimes somebody has to take a head break, and he goes, "Okay, you take the mic." And guess what? I'm just like 9 times out of 10, and even like right today, like sometimes I'm just like dead air. I'm just like, I don't know. And when I'm a listener, that is death. That's just like, boy. And sometimes I'm looking at these channels, and these guys, um, I don't know who they are, but they're able to just go on, and it's still substantive, and I'm very impressed. Versus if I was just filling it with verbal just like words, and that freaks me out. So I'm just saying, yeah, I think it's a lot of work.
It is. It is. It's
But
a lifestyle. It
what am
really
I going
becomes a
to do
lifestyle.
without my booze? I mean, coffee's great, but I don't know. I do think that for anybody, different people in community who have been when they get this idea. I think the idea to say, I would have said 2 years ago, if you start telling people, hey, if you are a YouTube streamer, you might consider drinking whiskey. Um, a rational person would think that's a lot of risk, you know. But I think when people started going, oh, super chats, and oh, look at Nick Ricada, and oh, it's funny, and you're in the stream, what could go wrong, you know? Um, you know, you could pass out on camera, you could puke, roll over, or you could destroy your. If alcohol controls you and is guiding you into saying very irresponsible things, uh yeah, some of those people aren't on channel anymore, you know, because that's a scary thing. And probably they should come with warnings. I mean, I hate those nanny warnings like smoking can increase your chance of getting cancer. Fuck you. I'm gonna have I don't smoke, but that makes me want to have a cigarette, just like warnings on alcohol and everything else. So but I don't like those warnings, but I think those warnings do have a place in them. Um, yeah, what am I going to do without alcohol? You know, that's um, I tell you though, when I was not drinking, I missed. There are things that you just miss, you know, and
Hmm.
I'm still making like I'm making bitters, you know, kind of a slow process maceration, um, not through like active um, distillation or extraction using pressure or whatever. So I make bitters, which largely go into old fashions for me,
Okay.
and I don't mind that. I'm still gonna probably crank them out because I give them away. I have like old Tabasco bottles, um, and I just fill them up and I give them to friends, or guys who work in the whiskey industry. Um, but I had a bunch of you know what tapache is? I love that. So tapache is a fermented drink made from pineapple skins,
Mm.
brown sugar, and you throw in some spices. You can put you
It
don't
sounds
have to.
good.
Yeah, and sometimes you throw in a tea bag. The reason why you throw in a tea bag is when you're fermenting something that ain't wine or grapes from grapes. Remember, grape skins have tannins in them, right? And tannins have a purpose. They give you, when you drink wine, they give you your grip. Tannins also, if you're ever fermenting pickles like cucumbers and shit, you put in tea or tea bag, and the reason why you want the tannins in there, and that keeps your cucumbers from going soggy. It keeps them crisp. So generally, you want a crisp pickle. Um,
Yeah.
Now,
Yep.
similarly, when you do the fermenting of anything that doesn't naturally have tannins in it, I'm going to throw in a tea bag with the tapache, right? And
Hmm.
so that's going to probably, I don't know, I haven't had like some weird rot mold shit, probably thanks to that. But in any event, I make the tapachi. Now, normally, if you look it up right now, you go, "Oh, tapachi's only like 1 to 3%." Yeah, but if you ramp up the sugar and you give it more time, and you're really pushing that the first fermentation, and you can get it up, you know, and not even using a special yeast or any yeast, other than what might be in the skins. Um, you can get it up to 9.5%, 8%, 9% alcohol. Yeah. So I've been drinking that, and I have like big. So what am I going to do with that if I've stopped drinking? So I knew what I was going to do, because if you leave it too long in the secondary ferment, and you get all that sometimes taste malolactic kind of fermentation, you get acidic acid, and you're going, ooh, that's good, because then you can get some really, if it goes that direction, you're getting some pineapple vinegar. That's what you want. So you hope it goes bad the right way, and you start getting vinegar. So that's all my tapachi is going into vinegar, for now. And that's really good. You can even use it. You still use it as a marinade, because I think that's one of the best. If you use pineapple as a marinade, you got to watch out, because you put too much time, it could turn your meat into mush, and that's gross. But if you're using like a pineapple based sort of thing, well, you got the alcohol in there, you got everything else, and that's a great marinade. And so it's going to do the same thing, but it's not going to be as aggressive. But I would use yeah, that's so the tapachi is a really good way. If you take a pineapple, you're going to throw away the skin, the rind anyways, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you just bang off the rind. Wash the pineapple. You're not going to kill the yeast in it, but just wash the pineapple, and but take the rinds and whatever little bits in there, throw them into a big container, and throw in the some people do all the heating and everything, and then they add the yeast. I throw it in there. I throw in the brown sugar and a lot of it, and then I sometimes you got the cinnamon, you got the cloves, you got the nutmeg, you got it's almost like eggnog spicing. The star anise, I don't really care for that, and I just throw it in there. You're getting the fermentation, stirring it, fermentation, stirring, stir, 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 stir. Sometimes you just need enough heat. Oh, one more thing. If you have a chili pepper, you can throw that in, and it won't taste like hot sauce. And what it will do, this is other secret I found out. If you're ever making ginger beer, you can do the same thing with a ginger beer. You're taking like raw ginger, the sugar. You ever have Burners, like ginger ale, the hot ginger ale?
Mm-mm. No, I
Those
haven't.
people in
Sounds good.
Detroit, they even heat it up, which like as a cold remedy or something like that. Well, whenever you buy those like artisanal, expensive ginger ales, and they're really hot with ginger, or you have like big red cinnamon chewing gum, and it's really hot in cinnamon. It's not hot because of the cinnamon. It's not hot because of the ginger. In both cases, they put capsaicin in there. They put in red chili pepper. Capsaicin is what creates the heat. So that's how you have hot ginger ale. But you're not thinking, oh, this tastes just like ginger and Tabasco. No way. It doesn't taste like that. It tastes like hot ginger. And when you have hot, refreshing cinnamon, it's not like, oh, that tastes like hot sauce. No, it's because of the capsaicin. And so that's why you throw in chili pepper into the, maybe chop it up, give it more surface area. Yeah. And that gives just enough heat, and that makes a difference. Yeah.
The capsaicin is how they measure the
Scoville's the heat.
Scoville. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So and so that is so if you ever like that whole idea, it's like, oh, I like ginger, but I want it hot. then you're throwing capsaicin or some form like a chili pepper into there. And if you're, and remember, it's not the capsaicin is not in the, people say it's in the seeds. It's in that white stuff on the inside is where a lot of the capsaicin is, I think. You know, when you say you cut open like a chili pepper, you along the length of it, and then you might see seeds inside. You see some of that white kind of, it's almost like fascia, a connective tissue in a human being. It's that might, I don't know what they call that, but that apparently is where a lot of the capsaicin is. So
Hmm.
you got to keep that, and that there's your heat.
Yeah, yeah. A lot of people don't know that. That is like I was into hot sauces. That's why I happen to know it.
Oh, so
Um,
you like the hot sauces? Do you ferment them like the lacto fermentation, or do you do it like the vinegar? I mean, there's pickling, or how do you do your hot sauce?
I don't actually make it. I'd love
Oh,
to learn how to make it. I have a friend who makes it around the corner, but he
uh-huh.
makes some great hot sauce too. By the way, his hot sauce could be, number one out there if you ever put it out. Um, but the but I got into hot sauce. I used to order hot sauce and have it shipped to me, and I would like Tijuana Flats in Florida has a great taco place, a great Mexican restaurant that has a hot sauce bar, and going there kind of got me into it because I mean I already liked it, but then I found this place and like, oh, you can go online and order from their catalog and they'll send you stuff. So I started like, oh, I want this, I want to try that, I want to try that, and I had a whole rack of hot sauce at one point, which I don't
It's
even know
not
what
it's
happened
not
to
it's
it.
not it's not difficult to do. You can go online there and just look for guys who will show you real simple, less complicated ways to do it. But I would definitely look at the ones where you're taking your chilies, you here's the one for the easiest way not to for lactoferm. I'm thinking about the ratios for pickling. I don't know if they're the same as for hot sauce, but say if I wanted to pickle vegetables or red onions, I would use 3.5% salt concentration, a brine. And I could be wrong. You have to go back and check. That might be the same for if you want to um, start the lacto fermentation process for your peppers. And so, and that's the thing. It's a really simple thing. 3% brine, 3.5% brine. But some people screw up on that because they figure out, they go, oh, I put in the water this much and I put in too much salt. It's too high. It's too low. But if you just review it and you just say, okay, this is how you get it to 3%. This is how you get it to 3.25%. And you're cool with that. Now you got your vegetables, you put them in there. Now you're not going to get that. That's the first, you're clear. You're not going to get some, oh my God, there's not enough salt. And now I'm getting this mold. Okay. Or, oh my God, I put in it. I can't do math. It's 10% salt and it's doing nothing. So now and once you get that and you're doing all these other stuff, yeah, it's kind of fun. The only thing is when you're doing fermentation, you're getting CO2 release, right? And
Mhm.
so that's when you go and you need to find either buy $5 airlocks for if you're using special initially primary fermentate like mason jars or whatever. Don't end up using bottles like old bottles without an airlock or that will explode on you.
Uh-huh.
And there are times when I've used bottles where there's a lot of pressure, but I'm very carefully there's a way to just turn the cap to release a huge amount of gas. But if you just go, oh, let's see what happened, you can have things just exploding. So just pay attention. You're dealing with pressure, and they could be a huge amount of pressure. So you want to have you either you have something like an airlock or you have so all that excess comes out. and you have some. If you're in secondary fermentation or in the bottles aren't going to be exploding on you because that's pretty dangerous. But it's really weird because I've seen, this is where it's really dangerous. Like TikTok is infamous for that. I don't watch TikTok, but YouTube, there's this one thing, how to make tapachi, and she puts all the stuff in, puts it in a mason jar, covers it with a towel, and then she apparently puts it away for a month. And based on what I know, that shit will be exploding and leaking if you're not going in there and leaving it slightly open or having an air or some way for the pressure. But if you're sealing that freaking thing down and it's just all that fermentation is just going to you're creating a little bomb. That's why I think those fake fake advice videos, when they're staging something like that, they're really dangerous. It's a good way to have real screw up. What could go wrong? Hey,
right, exactly.
I have this. I'm using this. What is it?
Bluetooth keyboard. Yeah. Apple. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I like it. It's okay.
Yeah.
But actually, I had this cheaper one. This one. I like it better.
Oh, wow.
Now the thing is, the keys on this stopped working. Some of them. And I thought, is it software or something? So I used this on another device and the same thing happened. So when I take this to another device and I connect it, I can go A, but B, C doesn't work. And I don't know why. You have any? It's cheap as hell, but I kind of like this one better. And I'm trying to figure out.
You can usually, on a regular keyboard, a mechanical keyboard, you can pop the keys off and clean underneath of them.
I did. I popped off the key, and
it still wouldn't work.
Yeah, it didn't. So, and it's weird because it's not just one key. I'm just wondering. It just happened, and I was for a moment.
Spilled on it.
Huh?
It might have gotten something spilled on it and just sorted out. I don't know. I'm definitely not an electronics or a keyboard expert.
Yeah, maybe I should just. I don't know that. I bet I could open this one up. Anyways, this is the expensive one, right? This is the Apple, right? The nice one. But this is it. Look at the bottom of this. You're gonna laugh.
Oh wow! Yeah.
I don't know. I just like the weight, and this is all copper. These are copper coins, 10 yen coins. So
yeah,
and in Japan, 10 yen coins are like 97%, 97.5% copper. The rest is zinc and stuff.
Oh, wow.
That's like very different from American pennies. Which are mostly zinc and they're copper coated. They used to be copper, but these ones are still pretty much copper. And
so I have an idea. I have an idea. Well, first of all, thank you so much for being here tonight, man. I appreciate it. I was thinking, how about me and you go crash Fizzy's birthday bash? Because I know he sent you a link and he'd like to see you.
Yeah. Hey, how old is he? Is he like 38 or something? So we should tease him, make him feel bad,
Dude, I have a birthday present. I have a birthday present for him. And who's here right now? 6? All right, guys, guess what? I'm going to show everybody who's stuck around and who's here the surprise I have for Shizzy. Just give me 1 second to set it up. You're going to get to see it twice tonight.
Your wife's not going to like you take off your clothes again, Mr. Reality.
Oh, I'll be winning if I take my clothes off. It'd be all right. Okay, so guys, are you guys ready for this? Are you ready for it?
No.
Yeah. Okay, it's processing. Hold on. I'm gonna pull it up. It's okay. Here we go. Okay, you guys ready? Crowd, I love you. Crowd. This is for you guys. We're gonna go over to Shizzy's and we're gonna give it to him in a second. But here it is. Okay, you guys ready? All right.
He is 33 years old. It's a sweater.
That's a good one. What movie is that?
That's from the Three Amigos. I love the Three
Oh,
Amigos,
okay.
man. I love it. Okay, we're gonna redirect there. We're gonna
Okay.
redirect there, and me and you're gonna go over there. Right? You got the link, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Okay, we're gonna
Do
go
I have
over
to
there.
hit it now?
No, not right now. I'm gonna redirect, but what we're gonna do first is we're gonna say goodnight, and we're gonna I'm gonna play my outro jam, and when the outro jam's done, we'll already be over there. So, guys, thank you so much for being here. You know, the full week of schedule is coming out soon. I'll see you tomorrow at 7 p.m. for Old School Watch Party Sundays. And we're going to look at Sci Wars and Operation Mockingbird. All right. And hey, Max, thank you so much, man. I love you, dude. You're awesome. And definitely come back, and we will, if anytime you want help putting a channel together or doing something, I think you have it, dude. And that, you know, and I will be here for you in any way that you need me to help get that going. So just all you gotta do is just DM me. I'm there. But guys, I love you, man. And until next time, y'all keep on winning.
We go into the.
Yeah, let's play for just a minute. We'll see it.
Just looking for a place to shed our skin. Saying the Holy Ghost on the battlefield. Early in the morning, this whole world gon' be the same. Won't be the same, no.
Oh, that's you.
Friends of mine.
Stop signing there. Monument expenses. Silhouetted faces in the flesh of soccer streets that killing man. Take a little mud, girl. Make a little mud, girl. Just looking for a place to shed our skin. Girl, saying the Holy Ghost on the battlefield. In the morning, this whole world won't be the same. I'm saying the Holy Ghost on the battlefield. In the morning, this whole world won't be the same. Won't be the same, no.